Hello, dear listeners. Today we have with us my friend Paul Alves. So, Paul, tell us first what type of company you are running and for how long and how much you enjoy it and all that.
Um, Hello, Thomas. Before we go, I'd like to say thank you for being here
My
with
pleasure.
you today, and great pleasure. So I run a kind of small business in marketing with the brands on the supporting
Hmm.
companies from tech to cybersecurity,
Okay.
e-commerce. Yeah, running a company is difficult. I mean, I've been doing this now for as a fractional CMO. I've been doing this for the last 13 months. Uh,
Okay.
and previously, I was working for various web agencies, always on the background as a contractor. Um, but before that, I had several other companies I was also running. I had an e-commerce company,
Okay.
um, and I work for individual companies as well as private equity. Um, but today I work as a fraction CMO essentially because I like the concept, and I think it's very demanding in terms of your timing and your positioning, how you're going to face the market. You know, it is not something you decided to go as a fractional because you have to understand your buyers, you have to understand the clients, the positioning that they got on the market. So basically you have to wear the hat,
Mm.
and everything goes with it. And then you start making decisions. So as you find the dots and you cross the T's, like you normally say.
And you run more than one client at the same time, or you focus on one at one time?
Um, Ideally, I would like to run 4 to 5
Okay.
maximum.
Okay.
It's the fact fractional CMO, you choose who you're going to work with, and you kind of give an hour, 2 hours
Yeah.
for your time each per week. You can go up to 3 hours, depends on the project you've got. But I mean, essentially, you just stick with 2, 3,
Mm.
and you can go 4 or 5.
Because as you said, it's it takes hard work to switch your brain to them and to understand how they work. So I guess that when you have to jump from one to the other one, that's
Yeah,
quite a gymnastic on your
it
mind too.
is. It is, yeah. I mean, it is totally difficult at times, so you have to get a bit of time for yourself and just to get a bit of energy back, but also focus. The focus here is be on the flow and just be concentrated in what you've got to do after. I
Mm.
mean, obviously you've got frameworks and process and techniques for that. And yeah, so you need to be really there when
Yeah.
because they can't wait most of the time. We live in an area or yeah, I think
Patience is not existing.
patience is very, yeah, very low.
And you know that the attention time of the human being for the first time went below the one of the goldfish.
All
That's
right. That's
it's
that's
it's
immense, isn't it?
amazing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
scary at the same time.
It is scary.
Yeah.
Where did you find that fact?
Oh, you can find it on some scientific research. There are many people who comment on it, so but it's scary. It's scary,
It is,
and you
yeah.
can see it. I
Yeah.
mean, when you see that, I mean, I'm the first one who does that mistake. I give my little alerts, when I get an email. And if you're
Mm,
doing a
mm.
specific task, if you see an alert for an email or you read that email, it takes your brain 15 seconds to loop back to the task you were doing.
True.
So you get 4 alerts or 4 emails, you wasted 1 minute of your life
Mm,
because the brain
mm,
needs
mm.
to circle back. Anyway, so
Yeah.
based on your past experiences as a business owner, entrepreneur, and up to the current one, what would you qualify as your biggest success, your biggest triumph up to now?
Um, during my time or just recent
As you want,
recent events? Okay.
as you want.
Ooh, biggest success. I mean, my biggest success, I think it was when I was working for Cisco Systems. The time I going back there because he kind of established the foundation for what I am today. Um, obviously, we take time to deal with because you're dealing at corporate level. At the time, I was working with accounts that run from 750 to 4 or 5 million pounds
Mm,
years. And that requires you, I mean, several things. So it's a team strategy that is provided to you at the time by your director, because we work in business units. So my success was to establish a pod, and so at the time we didn't call this account-based marketing.
mhm,
We call this kind of a cell of marketers. You kind of are dedicated for a specific campaign. For example, my campaigns at the times were like between 1 and 3, 4 million pounds. Um, I was concentrating on getting the big accounts, but also I was leading that team. So I organized a team. Every individual had 2, 3 accounts, and my big account, because I had to, you know,
mm. Roll up your sleeves.
yeah. So I I attacked Air France at the time,
Okay.
and Bouygues Telecom, so just 2 accounts for myself. And so basically, you were working supporting the engineers on the field, but I was on the phone doing a sales role and prospecting. And that account lasts me. I was running after for 6 months,
Wow.
individual after individual, collecting data, populating CRM, and hence the fact today is called ABM, account-based marketing. And we at the time didn't know that, but we were doing exactly the same. So I mean, we were getting to a holistic approach uh, into different departments to know what it was needed. Because obviously they had their strategy in place and they had needs, so we have to focus on those needs. So we took that to inform and support the client in ways that we knew we could do, because you were Cisco Gold partners, and so we had all the teams in place to kind of intervene and say, you can go forward with that. At the time, I had a call from Cisco and they say, well, you guys apparently attacking Air France
Mm.
account, and my director came to see me and said, I didn't know you were attacking that client. So I say, well, yeah, because I've got this, and that. It kind of tells me they've got a need. So and at the time, Unisys was another competitor,
Uh-huh.
and Cisco had thought they were working with Unisys. So in between, there was a bit of a dispute there, but finally we got there, and because we had more data, more needs, so everything was established. So we moved forward to that, and I helped seal the deal for 4.5 million.
Nice.
So that was a nice achievement for me.
Nice. And as a business owner, what was up to now your biggest success?
My big I was wow. I think it was not long ago I set up an e-commerce from scratch.
Okay.
I want to come out of a bit of the telco industry, and I say, well, I can do that. So I set up that business from scratch, nothing. Um, so I grew up the business. After 2 years, I had nearly 500 subscribers. Good revenue per not equivalent of the telco in the industry corporate, because obviously it was a much like D2C level.
Mm.
And yeah, so yeah, I'm very proud of that. I sold the business after for couple hundred
Okay.
thousand. And yeah,
Nice.
I say Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
so yeah, it's a good achievement for myself being on my own. My other half was supporting me on the comms and emails. But yeah,
nice.
very good.
Okay, so now the part that hurts a bit more. What were your biggest failures and learnings over that life as a business owner?
Well, I've got another success after that. I mean, before that, just before that, I run a business myself in the CRM industry,
Uh-huh.
and we were two of us. And I mean, we had a bit of a success and a bit of a failure.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with a success because the success there was that we started from scratch as well. So we grew up a business in a way that was very uncommon at that time because we had used our connections. So we've started the business straight away with a big client, La Fnac in
Okay.
France,
Okay.
one of the affiliations of the Fnac. So they were started providing online courses. So we set them up in terms of call center and the support with the CRM as well, but also the connections they needed. And yeah, so that was our first client, uh, thanks to a connection we had, obviously. But essentially, we moved really fast on the first 3 months because we signed another contract behind. So we end up having a big success in the first 6 months,
Mm,
which is very rare for a business which starts, the first
true.
year until
Yeah.
the second year, you don't do much. So basically, we were quite say, yeah, wow, we achieved something here because we started from nothing. We set up the routers, set up the computers, the tables. Um, we had business straight away, and we were very happy. I mean, I left the corporate world and say,
And boom.
yeah, boom, straight on, bang, cash on the table, checks almost flying in, and I mean, metaphorically,
Yeah.
and got another filial with Telecom because I had a contact at the time, and so we will provide meetings. So we had outsourced the business to Tunisia, but first in Marseille, and then he moved to Tunisia at that time. And in terms of call center, so we set up the call center technically, recruit, my part to recruit and train the people there. So we had a good team in place, like 10
Okay.
people. So we provide rendezvous for that company. And a year and a half later, that's what the negative side comes in. We lost the data, we lost computers, we lost everything because the company there, because we were quite centralized there. Um, we were just in the office in around Paris at that time, but I mean, everything was positioned there, and the person you were working with, basically, he was bankrupt, so the government came in, took the service, took our data,
Oh.
and yeah, that was. I mean, I'm laughing, but it wasn't very. I think that I'm very proud because I think we jumped too quick and without analyzing where we're going into
Okay.
business with. So that was a big of a problem. And we analyzed that in the end. And regardless of the clients we had, because the hard part after that as well is like, so you had a big slap in the face
Mm,
by losing that. And then we had another slap because we have to go individually, take our very hard money, own money, and write checks, say to the clients, sorry, we can't do business.
oops.
And that doesn't look very professional.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, and we have to explain. And so we felt a bit like we're here, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You go
we
there.
come down off the ladder. Yeah. So, I mean, I was devastated with all the attributes and, everything. And I say, well, need to come back, need to go back on the horse again and start over again. But it was hard. That was really hard.
Yeah. So the biggest learning out of that was what then? Was it
The
about
biggest learning
yourself being
is,
able to bounce back, or being learning about
uh,
human behaviors or whatever?
yes. So it was twofold. I mean, it kind of transitioned myself into another world, um, with much more, you know, take take a good picture of what's in front of you, and before you do anything, do your own research.
Hmm.
Take your time and analyze the different elements you've got on the table before you move forward. And then the other aspect was that I was able straight away to jump on back on the horse and just start over again. Yeah, that was, I mean, even today I talk like I'm talking to you now and feel like my hairs are, because it is hard. It is hard when you have to give back 100 something thousand. It is hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, found my partner after, moved to the UK after a year and started a business here and start over very slow. Obviously, there's an economic difference and
Yeah.
business difference here in France. So that was a bit of a, but yeah, yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
That's the most important one, that you could bounce
Yeah,
back.
I
Yeah.
can bounce back quite quick, so I'm proud of that.
Excellent. Bravo. Now, for before
Thank you.
we end the podcast, what lesson or takeaway would you like the audience to have for today? That's something that they could think about, or absolutely need to implement if they want success. What would you advise them to do?
Well, I could be talking there for an hour
No problem. We
there.
have time.
Um, I mean, success. I'm not the most successful guy in the square, but I mean, success, you made success. Success doesn't happen. So I would say if you want to be successful at something, you have to strategically thinking what your goals,
Hmm.
what you want to achieve in the next year, 2 years, 3 years. So is having an holistic view what you want to do, what you like, and success comes with passion about something. And once you establish what you want to do, you you just you go like a pit bull. You just go for it, and you don't give up, and just work your way in, and you work on your contacts, on your networking, and you see. I mean, it's important for me to today. I also I personalize your brand, having
Mm,
having a personalized brand. I wish I'm still working on this today because um, I think we times have changed and success can be quite easily. It's not like being an influencer on social media today because
right, right.
that's for me, it's not success. Really can be
I agree.
temporary success. So it's something you build from from here because you love it and you're proud to say I got X customers that are proud to work with me,
Mm,
and there's an exchange of service that you deliver to them,
yeah,
and you reward it in a nice way at the end of the month or the end of the year, the end of the project.
yeah. Thanks, thanks. Super, super interesting. So, if people want to
Mhm.
keep talking with you, or even are interested in your CMO services, where can they find you?
So they can find me at Paul at thecmo.inc, or you can contact me direct via LinkedIn or yeah, I think LinkedIn or email. My direct email is the best way to do it. I'm on Twitter, but not so much
Yeah.
anymore because I don't like much the way things are developing around there. So yeah, yeah,
Okay.
please do.
So guys,
If
don't hesitate. Paul is He's an absolutely great guy. So get in touch with him just to have a chat because he's very lovely to chat with.
Thank you, Thomas.
So,
Very nice. Thank you.
Paul, I wanted to thank you for your time and really enjoyed having you on the podcast and hope we will see you soon.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much, Thomas.